Namaste, my dear friends, and I hope all of you are doing well. Thank you for tuning back to my channel. I'm very excited to talk about to you this topic. This is a wonderful topic. This is a very important topic. As far as I'm concerned, this is my favorite topic. I really would like to talk about this. It's very exciting because it's been in me for a long time, for a very long time. Because this topic clears up, rather opens a door to a very good understanding on what astrology, specifically Vedic astrology, is all about. Okay, and also more importantly, that it eliminates a fallacy, a common fallacy which I've been seeing happening all over the years. So two things going on here. One is to give you a good, or rather a deeper or profound understanding on astrology, and the second thing is to break that fallacy, which is really somewhat ruining the reputation of astrology. Okay, so it's a very very important topic. So I'm not going to talk much. I'm not going to give many examples, anecdotes, stories, and all that. I'm just going to go straight to the point. What we need to understand is astrology in general is a geocentric system, meaning that it has a sole purpose on understanding how the universe affects life on earth. That's it. How the universe affects life on earth. Now, the other part, which is astronomy, is how the universe operates on a extraterrestrial level, out of the earth. It's all about space and all that. So never never match these two fields of studies. Astrology and astronomy have yeah, they do have commonalities, right? They have like stuff like mathematics is a common thing, physics is a common thing between these two. That's fine, but it has a different purpose. As I mentioned, astronomy is for modern science, where to learn extraterrestrial happenings and how the universe functions and stuff like that. Astrology, on the other hand, is how does all this cosmic or universal energies affects life on Earth, right? So it's two different contexts. The fallacy is then strengthened by people who assume that both are the same. Uh, to make it even worse, some people assume that astrology is the ancient knowledge of the modern astronomy, or rather astrology is the forerunner for the modern astronomy, which is again not true as well. It's two different subjects altogether. Of course it has the basis of mathematics and other stuffs, but the actual purpose is different altogether. So one has to get that idea. Very very important. It's very important to get that idea etched in our minds, because if you don't, then we always compare it with astronomy. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Say we talk about retrograde, right? Retrogression. It's a cosmic phenomena where the planets actually move backwards, or rather, there's a change of speed in the orbits, the way it rotates or circumambulates the sun. There's a change of speeds. So when we look at it, or when common people look at it, or people who have the notion that astronomy and astrology are pretty much the same, but astrology is an ancient knowledge, when they look at it, they'll go like, this is utter rubbish. No planet goes in reverse or it stops. It doesn't go stationary as well. But retrogradation talks about this. Retrogradation, or Vakragadi, right, is one of the concepts. They talk about the planets go in reverse. So imagine the person who has the same understanding, the same context, when he or she applies this, they will have this notion that no, this is utter rubbish. Vedic astrology is just some old thing which doesn't actually apply right now. I mean, no planets go in reverse. Now, that's a classic example, because astrology, or Vedic astrology here says that it is a geocentric system. Whatever things that happens on space which affects life on Earth is astrology, which also means, ladies and gentlemen, something important, which also means it is a system of empirical knowledge. Empirical means learning from observations, right? So taking back Bakri, the way it is seen is that people those days, ancient seers, would have looked at the sky and saw certain planets going in reverse. Now this is not using any modern equipments. They are just looking at the naked eyes, and they noticed when a planet seems to go in reverse. Of course, it doesn't, it's an illusion. But when they see that when a planet goes in reverse, or it's slowing down in motion, or sometimes stationary, that that creates certain things, that affects certain things on life, on humans, particularly on how we think. So that's where it is, right? It is an observation from the from Earth to what's going on surrounding Earth. It's empirical. But if you put it in the context of astronomy, it sounds weird. But if you look at it from astrology, because we are only concerned about what's going on out there, excuse me, what's going on out there and how it affects life on Earth. So same thing goes to other examples which I can give you, like yeah, the sequence of the planets, right? Astronomically, we talk about the sun, the first, and of course you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and so on. But astrologically, we'll start with the sun. Why is because again empirical, it's geocentric from Earth onwards. Geocentric, planet geo, Earth is geo, right? Centric is the center. So when you look at the sequence, you would not start from uh, Sun, Mercury, and so on. It will start with the Sun. Why? It's because that's the most obvious bright thing we can see. Again, empirical. We can see the Sun. So the Sun will be first, and then next, Vedic astrologically, we talk about Moon. Again, that is the next thing that we can see, obviously, right? In our naked eyes, it seems very apparent. When you go out at night, you see the moon. So the sun, moon, and next to that would be Mars, right? Mars is definitely there. Why? Is because that's the next thing that we can see. So this sequence: sun, Mars, moon. I'm sorry, sun, moon, Mars, and then you have Mercury. As you can, Mercury is another planet which is obvious that can be seen. As you can see, the sequence is defined by based on observation or empirical knowledge. Okay, so these are some of the things which I have just given an example, right? The one that we should clearly understand, or the summary of this video, is that astrology and astronomy are two different fields. Although they share certain commonalities, like as I mentioned earlier, mathematics and physics and all that, but the application of this is two different things. Astrology is to understand how these universal energies affect life on Earth. Astronomy is how the universe functions in a more in a more out of or rather extraterrestrially. Okay, so that distinctions here, and I hope that in future, when you read, when you see, when you learn astrology, please have this geocentric concept in your mind. Please have this understanding that it's purely empirical observation. Okay, and it's not a matter of astronomical science. All right. So thanks, my friends. Thank you for listening. If you're new to my channel, do subscribe. And if you're looking for consultations, I do that as well. So thank you for listening to me. Namaste.